And there we go. Sorry, of course I missed the mic again. Welcome! Listening to your tracks, Volume 4. I'm very excited for this one. And yeah, some submissions already rolled in. Let's turn the music down a little. And I try to behave and not listen to anything beforehand, so it will be the same listening for me for the first time to your stuff like for all the others in the chat. If it's rumbling in the back, my son is with me here in the back, so chat, say hi to Christoph. He's very excited to be around, although not on cam. Yeah, but without further ado, I would say let's just jump straight in. Maybe just a few words beforehand for you guys and girls that are new to this thing, haven't seen it. Quick word. Who am I? What am I doing? So I'm a composer and have been doing composing live streams for quite a while. I also run my own production music label, DocuScores and Reality Scores with my partner Ram. And there I am the creative director and listen to submissions and have to decide whether the tracks work for the catalog or not. And this is these listening to track sessions kind of... I have the feeling they're growing a bit and you guys seem to enjoy it. So that's why we are on Volume 4 already. And so the aim is to listen to some stuff and I give my 2 cents about a track. I try to be honest, of course, but also it's not a bashing show or whatever. So if something is good, stands out, I definitely mention that. But on the other hand, if something is shit, I will tell that as well, obviously. So because please keep in mind, any criticism is never personal. We're talking about the music only, which kind of coincides that when you have created something, you will always take it personal when someone criticizes it. But the ultimate goal is to learn something out of that and maybe get an idea or two how we can finish tracks, how we can get better at creating. And so take everything I say with a pinch of salt, of course. And last but not least, we are all human and we have our taste and our likings. And sometimes maybe you just don't like something, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be bad. So I try to be objective in giving my thoughts on a track. But again, take it with a pinch of salt. It's just a personal opinion. And the next one can see it totally different. So, what can we do? Jump straight into the DAW, and I already loaded the first track. Let me paste the email once more. So in case you want to have your track submitted to the stream, I don't know how much we can change. What? Did I not change the stream title on Twitch? Let me check that quickly. Usually, the stream title is changed on all channels at the same time, but not on Twitch, apparently. Okay, listening to your tracks, Volume 4. Done, and thanks for the heads up. But YouTube should be, yeah, YouTube is fine. That's strange. Hey, Oleg. Hey Remco, glad to see you again. Why is the music not running? That is not good. But I mean, we don't want to listen to the background music anyway. We want to jump into the stream, right? You guys ready? So there we go. We have, I think we don't need all that stuff. Let's get rid of that. There we go. And then we can do this. So, we still have piano if we need it. Build back better, Remco. There you go. So, yeah, thanks, Kevin. Yeah, of course. The usual applies. If you like the stuff, hit the subscribe button, click the bell, like the stream, all that good stuff. Also, just for the sake of mentioning it, there is I have a Patreon page where you can support the channel and support the stream. So head over there if you feel to do so. I am grateful for each and every one of you that already support me on Patreon. So without further ado, let's jump straight in. Let me know if the audio is fine. Mic should be fine. I turned down the volume a little bit just to make safe we are not clipping on the stream. There is no processing on the audios whatsoever, so this is the stuff that you have sent to me. And the first one, let me check the emails. So that is Jack Green. Would be amazing if you can have a look at this. Well, let's have a look. It looks like a waveform. I'm pretty sure you meant we can listen to it, so let's go. First track, Jack Green. Please enjoy. I really like the melody. Oh, wow. That was unexpected. I have to quickly stop here. So till that part, I really loved the key change there. That was gorgeous. First thing that I noticed when the next section comes in here is that the low end is a little muffled. A little unclear. Hey, Kim. Oh, it cuts off. That's sad. Wow. Nice. Yeah, someone mentioned that in the chat. Nice Lord of the Ring type of feel to it. The melody is gorgeous. And I think you said you have a friend recording the live violin on top. So that definitely gives a really feel fresh air there. It sounds great, especially the first part. I do have a little bit of an issue with some of the cymbal rises. They're a little bit up front in terms of mixing. They sound just a tad harsh. By the way, in case you're wondering, I not so long ago got me the there we go, the Slate VSX headphones. I am totally blown away by how good they are and how good they sound. So in case you're wondering, you still have the signal from the DAW without any of that. So that is only my headphone channel. That's where I'm listening through, and have been listening close to a week now with them, and I'm really digging them. So that is also the way I hear this stuff right now. Yeah, I feel like a tad harsh in the high end when the cymbals rise there. So this area pretty much everything above 10K has just a slight, could be a little bit more tame, but that's really jammern auf hohem Niveau. So that is really complaining on a high level. The track is gorgeous. Great work, Jack. Absolutely worthy first track. Maybe a tad hot on the mastering side, so it's really pumping up. But the brass sounds gorgeous, the ethnic winds sound gorgeous. Has a very, has a very, very Lord of the Rings vibe to it. I dig it. Really great work. Not much to add to that. It just sounds great. So if it sounds great, it is great, you know. Well done. So let's jump to the next one. I just realized that I should have downloaded the tracks beforehand. 7 Tears, why is that a SoundCloud link again? Can I download that? I hope so. Download file, there we go. Okay, give me a quick moment. I apologize. I could have done that a little more efficient. Listen to tracks, volume 4. Okay, download there. Next time, I will download the tracks beforehand. I promise. So, hey Tom, how are you doing? So there we go. No fear. 7 Tears of Hope, No Fear. My current track for listening to tracks. Besides mixing, as usual, I'm interested in how to get a motivational feeling into my tracks, mainly in terms of general structure, chord progression, and instrumentation. Hand claps, ukulele, and whistling. You cannot get more motivational than that. But let's listen to what you have here. Oh, bringing in the choir. Nice. Very nice, very nice. So, although I have to admit that I do not totally remember what you did last time, but I may have a feeling that the track from last time needed a bunch of more work. So production quality has definitely risen on this. So great work there, Seven. And so in terms of just a few thoughts for the track, I dig the atmosphere that you create with it. Overall, I would consider this type of track more of a mood setter than an actual track because it's perfect to describe an emotion or a feeling. So slightly tense, I imagine, like a dark alleyway. Something, well, not is about to happen. It's not totally action driven or high suspense, but kind of a criminal underscore a little bit. The middle section drives away a little bit with the drums there. That sounds more, has a very 80s feel to it to me. I personally feel that these drums are a little too massive for the track, and also an issue that arises not only there but also here when you bring in more instruments is that you have a very muffled mid-low end area. So that area here is very 300 to 400 hertz is there's a peak here in that area. So that I think the main reason for that is like a mixture. There's a lot of pads overlapping in the same frequency spectrum with a synth op that is running underneath, and the drums that you bring in. Again, they have this kind of 80s feel, but I feel that the mix lacks a tad definition. And other than that, I could argue that I'm missing a little bit the main melodic element. So right now it's kind of running the same chord progression from beginning to end. But in the end, it comes down to you know what I mean? And you can, of course, and you did a great job in varying the sections and bringing in elements, taking out elements, and try to move it a little. But over the course of, by the way, I just don't know if I actually played that in the correct tempo. I need to make sure that the tracks that I import are not in musical mode like this one is. Luckily it was in 120 and the session is 180. So it was slightly stretched from 120 to 118. I apologize for that. Yeah, I would be a little more careful with the reverb, especially with the brass here and the stuff that comes together. It sounds a little washed, and I think the reverb and the releases of, for example, synth pads and stuff like that, when that all comes together, it creates this overlap that makes it sound a little washy. So I would try to be very careful with the selection, which instruments cover which frequency range. Of course, there will be overlaps, but I think sometimes less is more. And overall, in the EQ, definitely keep an eye on your mid-low end. Like I said, the 250 to 350 frequency range. Even lower. It's more the 250 range. So there are not really rules for submission. Try to send a WAV file no longer than 3 minutes, ideally. Link to a WAV file, not the WAV file itself. And then we will see. I mean, there's quite a lot of submissions already, so I don't know how many we can make today. But also I started earlier today, so we can listen to some more than last time. I don't know how long we are going to go today. But 7, great improvement from last time. Great job. Really, really well done. So let's get the next track in. That is Christian Riemer. Suspicious link. Yeah, thank you very much. Google. Dropbox is not a suspicious link, believe me. Where do I download you? Download there. Direct download. Download. There we go. So Christian writes, under the following you'll find my song Vanguard. G minor, 100 BPM, 48 kilohertz. So Vanguard. Let's see. Wow, did you hear that arpeggio right when the hit came in? That was great. That run is awesome. If you guys can keep sending in only this type of quality, we can just skip the listen to your track sessions. What shall I say to that? This is brilliant. I love the sound. The only thing that I realize is that one of the low punch percussion sounds a little boxy. I think it's the kick. Or maybe just too dry for my taste. But overall, this is awesome. Fuck yeah, I need a beer. That is great. Christian, fup. Cheers. That was something. That immediate run right when it opens up in the beginning. Is it the self-programmed string run or is it Berlin? Gorgeous. I don't have anything to say to that. This is really, really good. I would play it again, but we have some other folks waiting, so... But yeah, keep that level of quality. Next one is a very, very nice email name, Angriffsbeat. Track is called Endurance. Google, could you stop telling me that Dropbox is suspicious? I don't like that. Direct download. Download. There we go. So, and what do we have here? Through this link, key C minor, 72 BPM, 48 kilohertz. Are there any composing or mixing issues which you can tell me? Well, we will see. Endurance by Tom. So we have an audio sausage. Maybe that's the first issue we can see there. No, we will give it a proper listen and see. Here we go. Tom, your track. Angriffsbeat. So first thing that I want to notice here is that the piano that you bring in there is out of time. So there's some rhythmic mishap going on. Maybe not the piano, but something in there is rhythmically totally weird. Can't really pinpoint what it is, but... Overall, I would say I think you try to put a little too many elements at the same time. It's a big cacophony of sound. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's the brass that is very much later, but also the strings are not in time and the piano was running something else. So there's a lot of timing issues with that track. And also the choir coming in here, the brass blasting full throttle. What this track is missing is pretty much dynamic, not in the sense dynamic is there to 100%, so to say. It's thrown everything in there, but it doesn't sound cohesive at all. The rhythmic issue plays a large part in that, but it's also, as I mentioned, you try to bring in a lot of elements at the same time. Don't get me wrong, the production quality is overall pretty good, so you have a decent sense for samples and sounds and choice of sounds, but it's just thrown too much in at the same time, in my opinion. And then, for example, the choir is running all the time with the chords in the back. The problem is with that kind of stuff, it is good to have a big moment in a track, but when the track starts big, stays big and ends big, then you don't have a point to compare that big moment to. So when you don't have a quiet section, or so talking about contrast, if you don't have contrast to the epic, it is just loud from the get-go. It is not really epic anymore. It's just a loud sound sausage, you know? But yeah, what's most distracting for me is really the timing issues in the strings and brass. So I feel that you have some really good starting points with that kind of track. The harmonies are great. It works overall really well together in terms of sound choice, etc. But these timing issues and also a little more musical contrast would help you, I think, grow your production value there. So when you start big, stay big, and end big, then it doesn't really sound big at all because you're missing the counterpart for that, the quiet. You can't be loud without the quiet. Otherwise, as I've said, there's nothing to compare to. So that part here, I mean, I can't even see in the waveform. I know that there was a part where he toned it down a little bit after that big part. Where was that? So, I mean, that is actually already hint enough when I say there was a part where it toned down, but I can't make that out in the waveform itself. Means that there is some issues with the being too big all the time. Epicness, economic inflation. Yeah, right. So, Tom, I would say overall great job. I would just keep working a little more on the intricacies of music and composing, and also look at the timing issues with the brass and the strings and anything. Make sure with each track, when you listen to it with a click, that it runs in time. Oh, Chris, thank you so much. Absolutely appreciate it. Thank you, Chris. Absolutely. So let's go to the next one. Thanks, Tom, for sending that in. Kim has sent a track. Kim Dirk Linsmeyer. One he did for the recent contest for Daniel James. No, don't play that. I want to download that. There we go. And I didn't really follow along that contest, but I think I quickly jumped into the stream of Daniel where he talked about or listened to some of the stuff. So Sorrow for the Fallen from Kim Dirk Linsmeyer. We are going to take a listen to that in a second. Finally get the download sorted here. So, still loading. Sebastian, same rules as everyone. Just send your track to composing track reviews at composingtutorials.com. We already have quite a bunch of submissions, so I can't promise anything. But we have some time today, so I hope we can get through quite a bit. So, import. Oh, it's still loading. Okay, Kim, we take you next when the download is done. So next one is one of my patrons. Thank you so much for all you guys supporting me on Patreon. If you're interested in that, you can do so here, Patreon/composing tutorials. Kevin Kuschel, one of my patrons, sent in a track. So Kevin, you are next for now until Kim has finished downloading. So he will be the next one afterwards. Desert Chase Music. I finished my first year on my composer journey. I saw your video. It was great. I really dig that. And I'm excited for you to check out one of my newest songs. This is one short but sweet. And I'm looking forward to hear your impressions. Writing music with my 8 gig laptop is still a huge pain, but I'm trying to push through the frustration and keep a constant output until I can go back to Korea, where my PC is one day. Yeah, I mean, we're finally looking at the end of that whole situation, hopefully by summer. Desert Chase Music, The Scent Thief. Kevin, here we go. Totally dig the vibe. Could it be that I played it too fast again? Not F4. That's 113. So that was 5 BPM too fast. It is, I mean, even the 5 BPM more didn't distract from the fact that there's just a great track. Absolutely great mood. I love it. I love the oriental flavor for it. I mean, it's called Desert Chase Music, The Scent Thief. So I was immediately transported into the Middle East, into somewhere in the desert Sahara, or great sound choice. Obviously, there's not much in it in terms of melody that makes me immediately hum the main theme or something, but and even more impressive that you did that on an 8 gig laptop. Just shows it's not the tools you work with, but who is using the tools. Absolutely great. Mix is awesome as well. It sounds gorgeous. Nothing to add. Kevin, great work. I really dig it. Absolutely great. I applaud you. So, Kim, now that's time for your track. We are racing through. I already downloaded the next one, so hopefully I can do that during the tracks. Okay, so now make sure, okay, no music mode enabled on this one. I think I can also turn that off generally. Toggle timer music mode. Oh, once I have that, okay, yeah, I just need to click here and then we don't have it in music mode. Good. Afflators, yeah, I was suspecting that. The Middle East special strings, right? They work awesome. That kind of stuff. Where are they? There. Ah, no piano. Why have I activated my piano? Turn it off. There we go. So yeah, the Middle East strings from Afflators. Absolutely gorgeous for that kind of stuff. So yeah, sound choice, awesome. Next one is Sorrow for the Fallen. Kim Dirk Linsmeyer. I don't know what the briefing for that was, so I just listened to that from a listening to the track point of perspective. Nice male choir there. Okay, there the end is near. The end is nigh. Overall, nice job. I'm not totally digging the last part in comparison to the first part, so the volume difference is just quite a lot from to here. So it's a minor issue, but the I don't know why that intro sounds a little bit, for the lack of better word, sounds a bit plasticky to me. A little meaty-ish. In terms of harmony, I have the feeling that there's a lot of stuff that layers here. What is that? No. I just feel that the harmonic structure of that whole track loses a little clarity in that part. So it just sounds that not all the instruments in the background are supporting the harmonic scheme here. Not saying anyone is playing wrong, but I mean, when you put a lot of passing notes and non-chord notes into the other instruments, suddenly an A minor that goes to, I'll bring that back in. Suddenly an A minor that goes to an F major, to G and D, which is a relatively simple chord scheme there. When you have a lot of passing and other notes in the instruments, you suddenly have like this. It's hard to emulate on a piano, but just a lot of instruments there. So I would wish for that part to be a little more clear in the harmonics that support the melody. The melody is great and works cool. There's just a lot of stuff going on. The horns do like a counterline to the choir, but then the strings also distract from that. So there's a lot of stuff happening at the same time, and that also, for me, creates a little bit of a mess. In that area. I mean, I remember last time on nearly every track we were mentioning the 400 to 500 hertz area, but especially with sampled instruments, that is a very critical frequency range. And if you have sample buildup or noise buildup there from the samples, it can easily get very muddy and very undefined. It immediately clears a little the whole thing in the mids when you turn them out a little bit. But this is something that would be better treated in the individual instruments than on the master channel. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. The harmony is a tad too rich for my taste there. That melody could be better served with And the same for the cymbals. Be careful with the high end above 10K. That also can easily be a little bit piercing in the ears. But other than that, great work. I like the melody, I like the track, the feel. So well done. Jumping to the next, which is, I think, Light Spread, Fashion Art 78. Thank you always. Stay safe during this tough season. Thank you. My track is a little longer. You can skip the slow part. There is no song name. How the hell can we talk about something that doesn't even have a name? Name your fucking children. It's your work. Give it a name, at least. 85 D minor. Okay. Come here, not named. What are you doing? Okay, you can skip the slow part. Whoa, oh god, how long is that? 5 minutes! Yay! Let's dive straight in. Nice drum sound, that's for sure. The hi-hat and cymbals are a little piercing. I really need to put some EQ on that right away. That part is a little too much. Oh, wow. I mean, I know or I have an idea where you're aiming with that, but that snare sound is very nasty there. There's a one specific... that actually hurts in the ear. That side stick. I think that is just a side stick compressed to death. I think I know where you're aiming with that, but overall the drums are, yeah, someone mentioned that in the chat already, little over-compressed in the drum sound. That's what I would say. Hey, Bortkle, thanks for following. I totally dig the guitar sound, though. Funny enough, I just listened, after a long time, I listened to all the Transatlantic albums again. So that reminds me a little bit of that. But yeah, the kick is a little thin. The kick could use some more, a little more low end. The side stick and the snare is a little too much on top. I will indeed skip the slow part a little bit. Although I like that. Nice atmo. The thump is a little bold there for the quiet part. Let me jump a little bit here. But yeah, that stick, that side stick is too much in the mix. It's really, I have to turn that off, and I mean you see it in the waveform as well. If something sticks out that far, there might be a point that it sticks out too much. This is like a side stick solo track with a little bit of background ambience. I have to turn that off. Yeah, the kick needs some bottom in the 60 hertz range. I mean, I'm putting myself far out the window here, but I would say that the guitars are live. That doesn't sound like VST to me. Or someone is very skilled in programming. Yeah. Oh, 007, that is yours? Okay, got it. So, yeah, overall, I dig the vibe. Absolutely, I love this like progressive rock, transatlantic type thing. Like the feel. That's typically for the genre as well. It's pretty long. It's more for listening purposes. Oh, it's not yours, but still, I would say it's a live guitar, not programmed. And if programmed, then it's very well done. But the drums are definitely need a new mix. That does not work like that. I have to be honest. So next one, Patrick C Star. If I am not mistaken, Patrick is one of my patrons as well. So definitely gonna download that right now. Download. I actually wanted to download while the other song is playing. So sorry, I didn't manage to do that in time. But cheers. Hope you guys enjoying it so far. Really great submissions till now. I'm really digging that. It's fun. And Patrick, very well done. 3 minutes 54. So that's directly close to the mark. The Evil Within. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, it has not finished yet. Oh, that's a zip file. Okay. So I will take a listen to that when that is done. So let's take the next one first. Stephen Pohl from Frankfurt, Germany. So let's load that first. Oh wow, there's still what? Afterlife, AIF. I make that a fast job and just download the MP3. Download. So, are we there yet? Come on. Afterlife still loading? Why is it so slow right now? That is really, really strange. Well, I'm loading with 90 kilobytes per second. 10 bytes per second. Okay, with that, the stream is going to last half a year. Before unzipping, look inside the folder. Yeah, that's a good point. But really, would somebody send something suspicious on stream? I mean, you never know. That's true. Semenov Oleg, the next one in line will be Fairy Tale. So downloading that one. Okay, something has finished, the zip file. So let me quickly look at that. I apologize for the break that we have right there. But open file location. Let me quickly check. Okay, there's just the WAV file in there. So we are safe and good. Extract here. So that was The Evil Within. So then we can go with it. Patrick Starr, Stream Master. Okay, we have a Stream Master on board. Just let me check again what Patrick wrote in regards to that track. This is my third track and my first that I present publicly. Written in A minor, tempo 95 for 4. Been working on Cubase since August 2020 and watching the streams since September, October 2020. Not a professional musician, it's a hobby for me. I play with a bit of knowledge and harmonization and as I feel and hear it. Want to learn more about harmonization to become more flexible. Actually, I wanted to write a spooky, creepy track with spooky pads and a creepy voice on top, but the one idea topped the other one, so the result was The Evil Within. As it happens with creativity, you start with something and land somewhere completely else. The track describes the inner conflict between good and evil. Okay, let's take a listen. Patrick, your track.
Ich werde mich tragen. Es nuk naivitek.
I'm shitting my pants here. Okay.
Exterminate.
Feeling like the Undertaker is about to enter the ring.
5, 6.
Does that sound like me?
7, 8, 9, 10. Kill them all. The evil within. Drop the bass.
Give that guy some credit. He started 4 months ago in music. The first ever track that he shows off publicly. So hats off to that. You're off to a good start. Yeah, but that really needs like... Oh, sorry. That. So, if you go that route with these bells and that bold feeling, I would really... maybe you have a friend who can play guitar.
Peace.
What did I do? Yeah. So you need that kind of stuff underneath.
To the darkness. Monster.
Overall, you also need to... so the percussion work is a little, or sounds a little uninspired. It's very repetitive, so that's something. So if you add some percussion work to that, you can really grow that. The overall chord scheme is great. That always works for that kind of stuff. So that's really, really cool. Yeah, it's a little bit of like Falco in the 80s with Ginny. Quit playing on dreams. What's that CA Raw? Chocolate Audio Raw. My favorite guitar stuff. So that's really great for that kind of stuff. So I would try to focus a little more on percussion work and overall in terms of mixing, but I don't want to be too too much criticizing that, because you're on it for friggin' 4 months, and that is awesome for a beginner. I mean, some stuff is like these mixtures of that ethereal type vocal melody on top with these dark vocals underneath. It's kind of, you can hear that you're still experimenting and trying to find out what works together. But overall, I totally dig the deep voice there. Is that yourself? I don't even understand what he's saying. Or is that from Sound Iron's Voices of Rage? That could be. There's some phrases of that kind of stuff as well. But overall, Patrick, I dig it. Great. For being a beginner, absolutely stunning work. Going on, who's next? Who's next? That was Patrick C. Star. Stephen Paul. Afterlife was the next one. Why is there... are you guys all sending zip files? So this is CTO listening to your tracks. Afterlife, okay, that was the one. So maybe I can take the AIF. Okay. Of course, QAS reads AIF. Why shouldn't it? So 100 BPM. Any info on this? I live near Frankfurt, silent observer since 2015, and always happy when you go online. Yeah, I am always happy too when I go online. I'm a hobby EDM producer, but I miss the life and power of the melodies. That's why I want to dedicate myself to orchestral score music. Good on you. Nothing against EDM though. Right now I'm working for a friend on a horror soundtrack, but everything is so dark and constricting, so I had to produce something else. That's how this song came about, emotionally packed with hope. My song is called Afterlife, and the picture in this folder was my inspiration. Let me open up this picture so everyone else knows what your inspiration was. Oh, I see. Always good to have a... that's a great tip, by the way. If you struggle with writing and don't have an idea, just do what Steven has done. Take a picture and try to write some music to the picture. Not to a moving picture, but just to a painting or whatever. It really, really helps getting the creative juices flowing. So a great tip there on the side. Let's play it. My question is my sound design and the harmonies. Are the elements good enough, or do I need to put in more elements with other instruments? Is the track good enough to take it on YouTube, Spotify, etc.? Which tips do you have for me? What can I do better? Okay. Digging the intro already. I really like the arpeggios that you're running in the background. Nice tempo change there. There was an audio artifact in the track there. Something was clipping. So, overall, great work, great sound. I do like the quieter parts more than the bigger ones. So the piano over the vocals sounds great. Maybe it's a bit too sparse when the drums come in here. I would really, at that point, I would push in some strings kind of stuff to some kind of swelling. Let's see. I think the main problem that I have is that was something we had in the first and the second track as well, that it's really like so, and it stays like that from the beginning to the end, apart from some changes where you go to the F and then to the G sus. But most importantly, when you do that kind of track, especially with that kind of easy chord progression, you need something on top that makes it stand out from the rest. There are millions and millions of tracks that do. So what really would make this track special, not that I can come up with something from the get-go just easy as pie. I mean, that's what we all struggle with. But this track needs some kind of top melody that makes it soar. But having just the chords, even when you blow them up with drums and all the other instruments, bringing that in there, it bare bones, it's still just. Oops. I think I messed up the strings here. So it's still just the same chord scheme from beginning to end. So that needs variation. Either you change the chord scheme up, do something different there, or try to establish something that stands on top of that to make it stand out. You asked if that will be ready to release on Spotify and YouTube. I'm pretty sure you would find your listeners with that kind of stuff. But I also think that there is room for improvement and to make it better, which in return would give you more fans and followers and listeners. So I think you're in a good position to dig deeper into specifically melody writing and evolving your, not your sound palette, but your, or your sound language, but your musical language in terms of what other chords could I use? How can I expand a track that works only with 4 chords from beginning to end? So what can I change there to make it more interesting? That's the advice I would give you there. Try to listen to stuff. I mean, again, if you look at it from the perspective of, like, say, for example, trailer tracks, where you oftentimes have a 4-chord scheme that runs from beginning to end, but then these also look different, especially within 3 minutes, and keep way more rising, and then you have a way bigger sound. This is more like the emotional part of stuff that needs a little more massaging, so to say. But anyway, Stephen, great job. Thanks so much for submitting. Nothing against 4 chords. Exactly. So now the next one would be Semenov, Oleg, Fairy Tale. Did it manage to download? Fairy Tale, there we go. Thank you for a previous review session. I really appreciate constructive feedback for my track. Thank you for bringing together such a great community of composers. He means you, guys and girls. So that is, by the way, that's also what drives these listening to your track streams. That is your comments and your taking part in the chat and telling us what you think of the tracks and of the music. So this would be nothing without you guys. So thanks for taking part and being part of this little community. And so Oleg writes, my new track is Fairy Tale, inspired by the last Thomas Bergerson albums. Who isn't inspired by these? Is this track complete in your opinion? That is something that I already know that is tough to ask, because only you yourself can complete a track. A track is complete when you tell it is complete. Anyone else cannot tell you any other. Do you need to add more from the instruments or develop the main theme further, mixing and mastering? I use your piano template, Grandeur and Woodchester textures, and Afflated strings, which I purchased after your stream. In brackets, my best buy. Awesome. So a great piano sound is guaranteed because it's mine. Just kidding. Let's see what you have here. Okay, let's give it some proper volume from the beginning. Okay, done. That piano sounds gorgeous. Track is great. Oh, sorry. Okay. Could you remind me every time I import a new track that I just click on that musical mode button? I apologize. Oh, that was definitely the wrong tempo. Sorry for that. That's true as well. We can listen to more tracks when we play them faster. That sounds really, really nice. To me, it has more of a film score vibe, like going along with the scene. And I can even hear what you mean by influenced by Thomas's latest albums. There is some similarities in the overall aesthetics and sound. I dig it a lot. I mean, if you want to have the comparison, saying it's coming from the influence that Thomas gives you, I feel that you could put out the melody on top even more. The piano's off. It's a fucking plain nice. I just gotta remind myself, don't criticize just for the sake of criticizing. If something is good, it's good. I like it. I dig it. Well done. Oleg, great job. Even on faster tempo. So that was hilarious. Great stuff, right. So next one in line, Pierre Fustek. I know that last time we had this Baroque kind of piece. So let me download that quickly. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Download. And also download the next one. We will have a little bit of a 10-minute break in about 20 minutes, I think. Because I need to get a new coffee and get rid of the old one. Next one in line already is Yannick Jamzin. Not really sure. If you could review one of these tracks. Okay, guys, please don't do this. Don't send several tracks and ask me to choose one. You choose the track that you want to have played on stream. We will make an exception here. SoundCloud links are okay. You can download Wave, so that's fine. Crescent Sun starts with a Spanish vibe that transforms numerous times and ends in a more rocking track. That actually sounds interesting. So let's download that. Jamsin, Crescent Sun. So for the future, when you send in a track, do just that. Send in a track. Like in one. But first, we can open up Pierre's submission. What did you do? Here's my track. As you can see, I'm not only interested in Baroque music. This track is essentially made with Ethera Gold, scoring guitars, analog dreams, native instruments, and real guitar. 120 BPM, 6/8. Okay, let's see. What's it called? Stress. Pierre, your track. Here we go. Digging that. Late 80s porn music. In a good way. The percussion loop is a little loud on the mix. I have to admit that vocal sounds a little bit out of place there. It just doesn't fit at least for me, doesn't really fit the feel of the other track. I'd really dig it till here, but that vocal that came in took me a little out of it. Yeah, the only thing that I can say is that thumpy loop or percussion, the dum 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 dum, that's coming in all the time. I feel that's a tad loud in regards to the rest of the mix. It's just very prominent. And the EQ on that vocal is also... I think you processed it a little bit, but it sounds a little off to me, you know? That track could easily work without these vocal fill-ins there. Totally digging the vibe. Overall, I mean, in terms of when I look at it from a production music library standpoint, if you were to send something like that in, I would say it's quite a tad too long for the emotional mood that you're creating. That track in a 2-minute length, making a statement and done. Because it doesn't matter where you click in the track. The vibe is there, it sounds great, but it pretty much does the same thing for 4 minutes straight, you know? So even though it's great, it's just a tad long, in my opinion. When you don't have any... If you were to compare that to, like somebody said that, like Pink Floyd or Another Brick in the Wall, what makes these tracks work is that you have a vocalist on top, or that you have these main elements on top of these sound beds that make it interesting, and then you can dive into a 9-minute track because you have the lyrics that you listen to and everything. For a pure instrumental piece, I think although it sounds great, it's just a tad long for not doing anything else with it. But overall, the soundscape and the atmosphere is absolutely gorgeous. Great work, Pierre. Really dig it. Well done. So now let's head over to Yannick's. And that was, what was the name? Crescent Sun. Mastered with Aurora at 25 PCT. What is 25 PCT and what is Aurora? Anyway, Yannick, so let me quickly read the email. It would be an honor for me if you could have an honest review of one of these tracks. Keep in mind that I am being almost fully paralyzed. I can only use my mouse for making music. First, hats off to that anyway. It doesn't matter how you get there. It matters that you do it. I leave you the choice on 3 of my recent works. I hope SoundCloud links are okay. You can download the WAV files from there. I did. Hope I get picked. You have been picked. There we go. Crescent Sun, Yannick. My head is shaking and I don't know why. I dig it. Going into mariachi style. I totally see that in a Quentin Tarantino movie where they run through Southern California close to the Mexican border on a like kind of funny chase scene. Totally dig it. The funny thing is, which is also cool, the song is so much in a stereotypical, I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean the positive, in a stereotypical kind of soundscape. So when you have that kind of Western mariachi type of stuff, there's just all these sounds that you expect to hear, and you all put it in there, which is kind of, how do you say that? Yeah, you expect that to happen, but when it happens, and because you expect it so much that it will sound like this, it has kind of a comedic vibe, even, but in a positive way. That's what I mean. I'm really imagining, like, Pablo Escobar mansion scene, or actually thinking of. I think only the German guys of you can follow along with that. I actually think of Der Schuh des Manitou. That's what I see, like Bully Herbie running on a horse as Awahachi with Sky Dumont. So that's definitely fun. Yeah, that's the word. It's very cliche, but it's well done. I'm the only thing the overall the strummed acoustic guitar part is lacking a little realism for my taste. It just sounds a little stiff. But the brass is great. I really dig the mariachi trumpets. And honestly, Yannick, even more impressive telling me that you're doing that being paralyzed and only use the mouse for making music. This is astonishingly good. Oh. Oh, I fucking love the fact that you bring back in the theme from the beginning, that Spanish vibe. Listen to that. Acoustic guitar. And then we go back to that. I feel that the lead, the rhythm electric guitar is a tad too much underneath. It's just like now you're taking that cliche to the extreme, you know. But it's fun. It sounds great, and I love the fact that you bring that back from the beginning. Actually, I mean, in some parts you can hear this. That it's virtual instruments and not real musicians. I would love to hear that track with a real guitarist and some live brass on top. That would be absolutely stunning. Really dig it. Great work, Yannick. Absolutely amazing. I love it. So, going back, the next one in line will be Danny, and then we take a little break of approximately 10 to 15 minutes, but I will keep the stream running. I will just have the pause screen there. We have so that is Daniel, shared with Mega NZ. Where is it? Download, there we go. Initializing. What is it doing? Downloading, well, that's a strange website. Downloading here. Well, never used Mega. That's a first. But it's nearly done. Oh, there we go. Okay, so save that there. I think it's Daniel, right? The End of Wind. CTO, listen to tracks, volume 4. So, Daniel. The End of Wind. The End of Wind will be bad for Earth. I'm new to this composing and I've started to watch your stream in late August. And love your content and respect you for your great work. Cheers, mate. This track was made last month. I hope you like it since you are kind of my mentor. Oh, I am? Thank you. May the strong force be with you. Here's the link to my track and tempo is 70 BPM. Okay, let's take a quick listen. No musical mode? Okay, we're good. I love that 80s piano. Did you just say you started 4 months ago? Like the other track that we had of the guy? I wish I would have done something like that when I was just starting out. Even the fact that you bring in that you have a straight meter and bring in triplet strings on top, diddly-dum, diddly-dum, da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum, absolutely stunning for being added for such a short time. Know what? I don't believe you. I mean, here at this point, we are getting into some mixing issue territory. So it's a very big cacophony of. I think especially this area here. There is just no more definition in the mid to low mid end. But you can tell me what you want. This is not the work of someone who started 4 months ago. Not possible. So if you truly added since 4 or 5 months only, this is astonishing. Totally dig the vibe of it. Great job. Some mixing issues that I would see there, but yeah, tough to say. I really dig the triplet strings on top of the meter there. The harmonies with the vocal in the ending part are great. Well done. That's all I can say there. Really good. Okay, but I will leave you guys for a little bit of a break. Gonna take a wee, get a new coffee, and that's very much sounded like Theragold and Daniel as well from Theragold 2.5, the new male vocal legato. That at least sounded like that to me. So give me a minute. Possibly around 10 minutes, and then I will be back for round 2, so to say. I will keep the stream running. We'll just have some background music playing, and see you in a few minutes. Thanks for tuning in, for sending your submissions so far. See you soon. 1, 2, 3. Hey everyone, and welcome back. So I got a fresh coffee, so we are ready to go. I should mute the mic when I have some coffee. So I hope you guys are still well. How many people have we lost during the pause? Well, we still, everyone was staying with us. That's awesome. Next one is Dominic. MP3 file, 3:10, that should be fine. Maybe I can have a part. You have. Just need to download your file, and when we listen, I can download the next one. Listening to your tracks, Volume 4. Dom Pro Guardian Angel. Only the strong survive, correct. Yeah, I just got Christoph to bed, so sleeping time. Dom Pro Guardian Angel, that's a VMA, WMA I mean. Hopefully that works, but it looks like. Oh, we are getting loud there, so making sure everything is fine. Sorry for the noise there. So, okay, let's take a listen. Dominic, your track is... Sorry, it was too quiet. I will say something to... Okay. First of all, thanks for sending it in, Dominic. there's a few issues that I see with so first of all, make sure that you look at your timings, especially the short strings. Here in the part with the choir where the strings came in, there's a lot of rhythmic mishaps going on. It's not aligning perfectly, so that distracts a little bit from the overall. And I also feel some of the elements, like these high strings on top, do not sit in the mix. It just sits on top of everything. And in terms of mixing, there's a lot that this needs. Again, the typical stuff, the low end, 500 hertz range, the boxiness. That is a nasty one here. I think this is in the vocals. You can even see that in the frequency range that sticks out. Overall, I think that it is also very packed and very full. So maybe I would try to, sometimes you can't just in 2 words give a feedback what makes the track better. I just see some issues that need some work in terms of overall orchestration, in terms of arranging the melodies and the harmonies, and the drums at the end here. Just give me a quick. Just gotta educate the dogs a little. I have also to admit that I do not totally dig the overall style, but again, I mentioned that in the beginning. Oftentimes, this is also biased in my view. So you might find the next person that totally digs it. But that's the beauty and also the curse about creative works. They don't reach every ear usually. There are people who love the stuff. There are people just like Seven writing. I love the snare at the end. I totally don't think that the snare is a good choice there. But it's personal opinion. So it's not always, you cannot always pinpoint what a certain issue with the track is. But still great work, and I think you're on a good way there. So just keep going. It will improve over time. The more you do, the better you will become. So great job. Thanks for sending it in. By the way, that applies to each and every one of you. I take my hat for the braveness that you show to have your track streamed on or have it played on the stream live. And also it will be available afterwards on YouTube for everyone else to watch. So you need some cojones for that, and that is good. So Ralph Bettish is going to be the next one. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks in advance. There we go. Fantasy Realm of the Snow. I think I downloaded that already. There we go. Fantasy of the Snow. So I'm gonna take a listen there. Make that loud enough and get rid of the EQ. Good. Very rich harmonically. I really dig it. Overall, really nice fantasy feel, even if you wouldn't have written fantasy in the title. Honestly, I don't have much to add to that. The atmosphere is there, the sound is there. I like the instrumentation, the orchestration. A little bit brittle in the high end, if I would have to say anything in regards to the mix. I love the how you weave the harmonies. I would take away that area a little bit. Everything above 8, 9K. Very atmospheric, very nicely done. I really dig that. Great work, Ralph. Thank you so much for submitting. So that happens when you listen to a track and you're totally in it and forget to download the next one. So Carsten Ziegler is the next one. Please find my track for the review and close in this email. Would love to get an honest opinion from your professional side, as I am no professional at all, but I want to be a professional in the future. I hope you mean music. Download QA projects CTO LTYT volume 4 save. That's an MP3, but shall not distract us from getting the track in here. Eternity by Carsten. Let's go. First impression, that solo instrument is a little harsh on the top there. So that piano Totally digging the overall atmosphere. I see some issues in the choices of sound, but I mean, sometimes, obviously, not everyone has the latest sample sets and sample libraries available. There are some sounds that sound very meaty and, excuse me for the lack of better words, that sound a little cheap. And therefore not really real. But that doesn't distract from the fact that it's a nice composition overall. So the biggest issue that I see with this track overall and with the mixing and also the orchestration side of things is try to find some resources, either online or whatever, in regards to orchestra mixing. So most importantly, good theme for mobile game projects. That was my thought as well, which can work great for the games. Seeing that as a menu theme where you choose a character and everything, so that can work great. But you definitely need to look into the mixing side of things, especially into room placement. So you say you used East West Hollywood Orchestra, so that definitely can sound better than the way it sounds here. Even though I'm personally not a fan of the East West stuff, but that doesn't mean that it's bad samples. So they're actually really good. So this is more a mixing and arrangement decision than the actual sound sources themselves. Try to find some info on either orchestral mixing, on how to place instruments, because especially in the end here, the horns, for example. Overall, the mix sound flat. It's all on. There is no depth to the mix. It all sounds on one canvas and more. Yeah, it's lacking depth, and that is definitely a mixing issue and how you use reverb on individual elements. So, musical idea is there. The execution needs a little work, and definitely on the mixing side of things needs work. It will be too much to dig into detail what the specific hoops are that the track has or that the individual instruments have. I really can recommend you to check out Joel Dolly's mixing course on orchestral music. I think you will get a ton of mileage out of that course to improve your mixing. That wholeheartedly will take you heaps forward with your sound. So hopefully that helps a little bit, but great work. Thanks for sending that in. Next one will be George Canalos. And George has sent in, what was the name of the track? George Canalos, Waves of Blue. No further information, here's my track. Sounds very much like Ethera, yes. Very Bergerson-like harmonies there. Well, definitely digging this one. Nice, positive, uplifting feel there. Could definitely see that in a positive documentary type of trailer. Maybe not trailer. For trailer, it needs a little more beef in the low end, like more rumble. But overall, the mix is great. I love the intro. The intro is great. Listen to that. It immediately grabs your attention. Great choice of sounds there as well. I love the synth arp. Yeah, the only thing Kevin mentioned that in the chat right now, and I think it's the same. Clara sounds a little bit up close for my taste. So I think the solo vocal could use a little more defined reverb and space. Or at least maybe a tad more compression as well to make up for the dynamic jumps in the vocal line. And also the thing is, but this is more a compositional choice, if you bring in a solo vocal that does a solo melody, you have it clashing here with a high string. So when you have brass and high strings playing in the same range as the vocal, you will, no matter how good you mix it, you will always have a problem with making room for each of the elements because they are fighting in the same frequency space. So especially this is very apparent in this moment here when the vocal comes in. When you listen to the high strings, to the violins, and to the horns, it's all happening in the same range as the solo vocal. And I mean, you have a bunch of harmonic choices that are very similar to Bergerson, so I assume that you have been inspired quite a little bit by his works. At least that's what I seem to hear from that track. And when you listen closely to what he is doing, whenever he brings in the vocal, the higher instruments that fight in the same range are either tamed down or completely omitted. So when you have the solo vocal on top, you will not hear the high strings soaring and the same at least not with counter melodies. Maybe they support the main melody with a vocal, but they will never go against it. And the same with horns and any other instruments that sit in the same range as the vocal, the human voice. These whole these counter melodies there, I would space that out a little more. So have the vocal phrase, sing something, and then answer with the horns, for example. So the vocal goes to, and the horns play with a rhythmic pattern. So there is just clash of instruments, and so you lose the focus on what is essential. And essential at that moment is actually the voice to soar on top of the rest. So that would be my impression. But overall, nice composition, nice choice of sounds, great work so far. Keep going. Awesome stuff. So next one is INX 77335 at EUB. I don't know who that is because you didn't sign with your name. The track is A Hero's Tale, but I read about A Hero's Tale before somewhere. Anyway, let's get it in. A Hero's Tale, version 2 already. So let's see. Who was A Hero's Tale? Who was A Hero's Tale? Oh, D-Man. Okay, there we go. That's what I call a sound sausage. Or in classic German, Soundwurst. Let's see what that sounds like. I'm trying to figure out a style for that. So which drawer would you put that in? Has an oriental flavor? Wow, you're jumping continents here. Going from the Middle East to Asia. Some of the flutes before sounded Celtic. Yeah, I was about to say, it sounds like Jade. Okay, honestly, I was expecting worse from the waveform itself. Oh wow, did you like didn't decide between major and minor in the end there? It sounds like you have a pitch bend going on from C to C sharp. So the strings play and the main melody goes. So little bit weird there in the end. Overall, I think that with the last part, I think you went a little bit over the top. Not only you can see that from the waveform, but also in terms of arranging, it's just slam everything in there that you have got. And Jade has quite a lot, so that's not always it is a good idea to slam everything in that you have at your disposal. I just think that it creates more of a very dense atmosphere, not in a so much positive way. So yeah, it's just too many elements going on at once. And therefore everyone is fighting for some space in the mix, and that creates this feeling of muddiness, you know. So but great idea. execution can use some work. I love the intro part. That sounds way better than the last part. So up till here, really great work. This needs some thought, this ending part. But thanks for submitting Hero's Tale. And yeah, it has definitely a little bit of a Kung Fu Panda vibe to it. So going on to the next one. Let's see if my Cyrillic... Mikhail Kharitonov. Michael. Okay, let's go with Michael. That might be better. He sent in a track, maybe not for Volume 4. Well, I gotta disappoint you. You are on Volume 4 now. Track is called Last Mission, Mix Master. Some of my friends think that they hear space. I think it's some James Bond scenes. What do you think? Okay, let's see. No musical mode. You guys let me know in the chat what you think. Is it more space or is it more James Bond? Oh, Kharitonov music. There you go. I think my coffee is cold enough now. I like the build. Yeah, for me it's also more space than Bond. Okay, that's actually Bond in space. Remember Roger Moore on that space station? It's kind of a funny mix. The strange thing, or the... As funny as it is, the little bit of a downside is for me, it does have some space feel, it does have some James Bond feel because of the way you have the strings arranged and play the melodies. But the problem with that is you create a left direction and a right direction, so that means the track is always juggling back and forth and doesn't really have a certain aim where it's going. So from a production music standpoint, that track makes little sense because it doesn't really tell you where it shall go or what it's supposed to underscore, so to say. A Bond with a lightsaber in space. I like that comparison. It's nevertheless, it's still a great track. It's fun to listen to. But I see that more as kind of an experiment than something that can be taken. I mean, this is more like in the film score realm. So if you have something like that and you have a movie that demands that type of music, I can totally see it working, and it's totally fine on its own. We don't talk about production value or anything. It sounds great, great samples, great use. The space, no pun intended, is there in the mix, so it sounds good. And I could even imagine a movie like a B movie or something with like we said, James Bond in space or something where that may work. So nothing really bad to say about it, but I see a limited usage for that kind of music. You know, that's what I wanted to say. It may not fit in every situation. to put it like that. But great work. Thanks, Michael, for sending that in. So did I download the next one? Who is next in line? Milo. And Milo sent twice email, 2 emails, because the first one was kind of bad. So I will not look at that. And take the second link. Can I download? It's called Symphony 1. Do I need to be afraid that we have a 30-minute queue that we need to listen to? I hope not. Symphony 1. It's downloading right now. So that means I can also jump. Are you guys liking it so far? Are you digging it? Do you like it? Any suggestions what we can do better? Do you think it's worth doing these in terms of concept and overall feel? I mean, I like it. I like listening to your stuff, and it's awesome to listen to that and see what you guys doing out there. I mean, I personally want to take it a step further for the next one, because I think I was talking about that next year. So, I mean, it's cool to listen to stuff that you do, but even more interesting, I think, would be how can we take it further? So would you guys be interested in doing something like listen to your tracks on a brief? Like saying, we need something along the lines of, I mean, I'm more thinking from a production music point of view, like working for TV or stuff like that. So yeah, that is something that I could think of doing, listening to your tracks based on a brief that you get, and then you have like 4 weeks time to provide something. I just don't know. I don't want to do it like a contest or whatever. It's really just for the educational purpose of what can you do to work to a brief and to get something done with a clear direction in mind. Let's see. Did we download that last track now? Milo, what was the name? Symphony 1, final export. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oops. How long is that? 4:22 minutes. Didn't I say 3 to 4 minutes? Nobody is reading the instructions. Okay, anyway. Milo, here we go. Digging that. Yeah, very classical, very olden times style, which is no bad thing at all. This kind of stuff requires a lot of musical knowledge. Has a little bit of Williams vibe in the brass section. Sampleation sounds great as well. I don't see much issues with the sound of the samples. Only thing, but I think that is also due to the sound of the track itself being more like in the classical realm. Overall, the sound of the whole orchestra is a little too dry for my taste. But then again, it's also not film score. It's classical. And there was one comment in regarding to the trombones. I think that the trombones are a tad loud overall for the rest of the mix. But yeah, absolutely stunning writing, stunning orchestration. I couldn't write that for the shit of me. Absolutely well done. Yeah, absolutely from a musicality standpoint, the most advanced thing we have heard all evening. I don't even want to get started in asking what sample libraries used. Maybe that was done on StaffPad. It definitely sounds like you know your way around these little black dots on paper. So it's hard to write something like that in a DAW only. So that really... Milo, did you do that in StaffPad before? Before transferring that to the DAW? Or write that in paper? It's almost all BBCSO, okay. So sound is great. Again, just the trombones might be a tad too much up front. Funny enough, Alex just wrote that the brass doesn't go loud enough. I thought that was just a little too loud. Amazing work, Milo. This is absolutely stunning. Can only congratulate on such a great piece. And it's a great sentiment for BBC Symphonic Orchestra. You should send that into Spitfire. Maybe they showcase it on their page or something. Great work. I don't have much else to say to that. Other than, fuck me, I couldn't write that. So, next one. Brody Marshall, Ruin the Work of Giants. I assume that is going to be that track, Ruin. Is it? I hope. Brody, if that is not your track, but I think so. I downloaded it from SoundCloud. What was the title? Let me check that again. Ruin the Work of Giants. And when I download, it says, yes, Ruin Wave. Okay. Correct. So let's go. Overall, the soundscape is nice. I just feel that it's a little too rich harmonically for my taste, so I'm missing kind of a little bit clear direction where this is going. It's like meandering around the harmonic structure there. A lot of the nice string sounds for sure. But this is more like a mood bed. I have heard these vocal samples before. Is that Chavanai? Oh, I am so sorry. Sounds like it's double with SoundCloud. Well, I didn't hear that. I just heard the track on my end. Sorry for that. I didn't hear the SoundCloud running in the background. That's why I'm asking not for SoundCloud links. Yeah, again, the atmosphere is absolutely stunning and great. I love that. It sounds gorgeous, but the whole string section and there's also a little bit of a build-up in terms of frequencies. I mean, there's not much happening in the track in terms of instrumentation, mostly strings. But especially this area, nope. There's some I would clean up that 350 hertz range a little bit. That sounds a little bit nasal. But overall, nice track. I like it. Other than that, great work. Cool. Thanks for submitting. Ruin. Brody, that was great. Next one is a little bit special because that is out of the range of the well, it's technically is also a submission, but not something that has come in the last couple of days. That is actually Tim is one of my Giga Minion patrons. So we just recently had a one-on-one session. If you're interested in that on Patreon, you can check that out. I do one-on-one sessions as well. If you're interested in that, to dig deeper into your work or get some context on your content. And he agreed that we can take a listen to that track that we were going through of his. I hope it was Arclight. I think he's in the chat. Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess that's the one. Yeah, Arclight, correct. And it's a little bit longer, but I feel that there's quite a little bit that we can learn from that track. Thanks, Tim. I appreciate it. So let's take a listen through, and I will share with you some of the stuff that I told Tim as well in our one-on-one session. Overall, it's a great track, but also some issues. Maybe take a close listen. We will listen to the whole thing and maybe share your thoughts in the chat. Would be interesting if some impressions align. So thanks, Tim, for providing that, and I think that is a very good example of some stuff that we can talk about with especially with this kind of music. So Tim and I have a very similar music taste. So let's go and listen to it, and then we talk a little bit about it. So, first of all, holy shit, Tim. That was, I think, my first reaction when we listened to that on our one-on-one session. And I definitely don't want to go into all the details we were talking about on the session in on the Patreon session, but there's still some stuff that I think is valuable. Overall, I mean, we don't need to talk about the fact that the production quality is really, really good, and that there went a lot of work into that. And I think you can also not deny your love for the stuff that Bergeson and other epic music guys are doing. So there is clearly some influences there, which is totally fine and absolutely legit. Funny thing is, my first impression of the track was kind of halfway through that my first question to Tim was if he spent the same time on the second part as he spent on the first part, which he denied. And I think it shows. So the first, right till that moment, I love all the instrumentation and the flutes. I love the theme that he has established. But the first thing that I pointed out, and I am actually glad to listen to that again because my impression still stands, Tim, so we're good there. The second part, from going from here, although he re-establishes the themes that he started the track with and the main melodies and main elements, the most challenging part with these types of tracks is on over the course of 5 or 6 minutes to keep the listener's interest and to make it worthwhile enough to stay for 5, 6, 7 minutes. But there's also a fine line in forcing change too much. And if that happens, and this is the impression that I had at the moment when that second part came in here, just overall think of the feel. I love that Bulgarian rhythm there. I love that overall feel of this part, establishing the main melody again. But when we go into the change here, listen to all the elements that change from the overall feel of the track. So we have a little breakdown that kind of introduces that change. My first reaction when that moment came was that I told Tim that till that moment I was totally in the track, but then I immediately got taken out of it. And for me, the thing was that it felt like too much of a forced change. I need to do something else for the sake of keeping the track going forward. So we go into a new key. We have a new main melody element. The only thing that kind of stays a little bit consistent in that is that the vocal takes over the melody from the beginning. But other than that, it is everything changes. We introduce the drums. We introduce even the guitars. We introduce the vocal on top. The strings go into the low end. I have an issue a little bit with the sound of the drums here. So don't get me wrong, in itself, the part sounds great as well and works. Maybe here and there are some parts where you can wiggle it a little bit. But is that, the question is that not a sign that it should have ended? It's like 2 tracks. At least that change for my taste in the course of the track is too big of a change to justify that being 1 track. That is like starting a completely new track. But then he goes back to this. And the more we go towards the end, so bringing a complete new element, the synth that was not as prominent before. I mean, besides the fact that it may be a tad too loud, but it sounds like, okay, we're bringing in something new, but then it completely falls together in itself, going into that piano part. And there's a huge difference in quality between that piano part and all the stuff that he did in the beginning. And that's where I asked him, how much time did you spend on the first part and how much on the second part? And so and he kind of admitted that the second part didn't get as much time. And I mean, it's still a work in progress. Keep that in mind. It's not a finished track, and he's working on it. And I mean, he got the session because he wanted to talk about some of this stuff. So I just found it very interesting to showcase that, especially with a work in progress, and some of the things to keep in mind when working on that type of music. That this piano part, for example, I could completely cut that out. Unless you would work on it more. It just sounds a little uninspired. And the piano is very harsh in itself with the sound. The drums sound better here. I mean, that's a typical Bergersen ending. It just needs some love on the mixing side. I personally feel the main melody a little stiff there. But that's personal preference, and it can totally stand as it is. So I just wanted to showcase that track in terms of, first of all, it's a great track, and Tim, very great work there. Really promising material. But also, it can use some little love in the second part. Let's put it like that. And Tim, definitely thanks for sending that in, for letting me showcase that on the stream. Hope you guys liked that one. I for sure did, and just wanted to showcase that to talk about some of the stuff that, even with such a production that sounds already very high-end and very good, there's always room for improvement. Tim, yeah, exactly. Love that. Was targeting a 5-minute track. See the point about this could be the 2 shorter tracks, but I love to make the whole thing tie together better. That's what I meant. Right now it dives away too much. But I can see it working when you massage it a little bit. I can see it working as a 5-minute track. Yeah, exactly. The first half of the track is already there. It just needs some work on the second part. Okay, let's keep going. Thanks so much, Tim, for sending that in, and thank you guys for sticking around so long. I think that's the longest listen to it tracks we have ever done. Happens. Next in line would be Syed. Electronic hybrid orchestral sci-fi track Horizons for review. So let's see, Horizons, there we go. Volume, EQ. By the way, just one more thing, Tim, I didn't mention that. Take a closer look. I mean, I deleted the track already. There was that solo flute part in the middle. Take a closer look to the frequency of the flute. That was a little bit piercing. Maybe put that through a compressor a little to tame the dynamic range. So Syed, your turn. Secret Soundworks. Very rumbly in the low end. little too much. But I like the atmosphere. Yeah, that one has a bit of a boss fight mood, video game type. Strings are a little bit harsh in the high end, or the orchestra part there. Really like some of the. Oh, by the way, sorry, I forgot the musical mode again. Lucky it was close in tempo. Overall, I like the atmosphere. Yeah, it stays a little long on the same harmonic scheme and on the same vibe, so to say. Sorry for that. Yeah, it lacks a little variation overall. But on the other hand, imagine that in a video game score, for example, when you explore some underground tunnels, or maybe even boss fight kind of thing. Yeah, I think the problem is that you stay on the it sounds like you're staying a lot on the A in the bass, and that takes away. I mean, it creates some tension, of course, which kind of works for the mood that you're aiming for, but it also takes a little way of the when you bring in the bigger elements, so it doesn't really grow because you're missing the harmonic information there. So when you bring the bass notes with the chords, you just create a lot of muddiness by keeping the bass range on the same note there. So I would definitely suggest when you bring in the orchestra to change the bass up a little bit there to go more with the actual chords of the track. That will definitely help open it up and make it not sound as muddy. But great work. Thanks for sending that in. Secret Soundworks, not so secret anymore. And a little note to Chris, thanks so much again for your donation beforehand. And I got your email, but I am not able to open the track that you sent in. That is called the Sad Scientist Final. So send that again. So that Dropbox link tells me the folder does not exist. So just send it again any other way that you see fit. Then we can take a listen to that. Till then, the next one in line will be Alex with the heroic tale. So, hey, thanks for your activity. Okay. What's called the heroic tale? Oh, I downloaded that twice. Do we need to listen twice now? No, we take this one. So let's see. I love the variety we have. No, not Alex Pfeffer. Alex Shvurkunov? I cannot pronounce the name, sorry. Yeah, a little bit of Santa bling, fantasy type of stuff, fantasy / comedy even. A little more classical in its approach. Yeah, right, Tom, but without Jerry. And also, oh, fuck me. It was a little slower than it was intended to be. Yeah, I'm at loss for words there. I have to be honest, it's just not my genre. Well, not my favorite anyway. So, yeah, kids show type of stuff I definitely can see working in commercials and some kind of quirky, funny stuff. It has that little bit of that Desperate Housewives feel when you talk about the pizzicatos and the woodwinds. From a musicality standpoint, there's some harmonic discrepancies in there that I just don't dig. I'm not really sure if they're intentional or not, but there's just some things are a little off to my taste in the harmonic structure. But this is really not something that I could. It's always hard to judge a creative decision, and if you want to have it sound like that, you want to have it sound like that. That's your baby, and you do it, and you're free to do whatever you want. It's just not totally mine. That's what I can say. But from a quality standpoint, it's well done. It's well executed. So good job on that, Alex. Well done. So next in line is now Chris. Thanks for the donation again. The sad scientist, now it works. There we go. I loved the description there. What did he say? This is a short story about a scientist that slowly loses his shit. Okay, let's see. Spitfire? Solo strings? The slowly going mad part. It's cool. I dig it. Honestly, there's just not much I can say about it. Chris, the brass sounds great. And it's one thing that I want to point out. What's really tough to do is to have a track where you, I mean, definitely he's aiming, or according to his description, he's aiming for that strange atmosphere going crazy. What is really hard to do is when you have that much rumble and noise going on, to keep that. When you say your mixing isn't the best, lol, well, but I think that you did a pretty darn good job at keeping that consistent and keeping the low end tight still, even though you have all that stuff going on. I love that rumble there, and I think it works great. I really dig it. Could totally see that in a movie for a scene where you have that happening exactly what you described, like going from the. And also, I love the roller coaster of emotions you have here with the violins. Oh yeah, of course I want to become famous. Bye bye. I'm digging that part even more than the last one, but well done. And choice of emotional violence. Or are you guys kidding me? Go away. I don't want to become famous. Bye. Very, very good, Chris. Well done. So, next one in line, Hakan by Chile. By Chile? Sorry. I think he sent 2 emails. So I'm taking the second one. Guess that is meant to be downloaded. Listen to your tracks, volume 4. Okay, that track is called Remembering the Future. Hakam. Second is electronic. Well, I have that Remembering the Future now, so that's the one we're going to take a look at, or that we're putting an ear at. Timing is fine. Close to 4 minutes. Okay, let's give it a listen. First thing, I think I said that on the last stream, and I'm saying that now again. I will continue playing, but since I just read what you wrote in the chat, never ever, if you send your stuff off, apologize for what you did. Never ever. Never send something off and apologize. Sorry, it's too slow. It's not done yet. It's not ready. It's shit. Fuck it. Nobody cares. You did something that 6.5 billion other people in the world cannot do. You have something to be proud of, no matter how good or bad it is. And there is no real bad. There's always something to learn from and to grow with. So never ever apologize for something that you have created with your own hands. That is just not necessary. Okay, enough for the word to the on a Sunday, which it isn't. It's word on a Friday. And honestly, I totally dig that. I love the atmosphere. Oh wow, fuck, listen to that sub bass. I love that. Fucking 40 hertz bass. Okay, that was a bold choice there with that harmonic change, but I totally dig the atmosphere. And honestly, since you said you rather wanted to have us take a listen to the first track, I will load that up as well. Overall, I dig the atmosphere, and gonna load up your first track as well to take a listen to that. What do you say? So that is called World. Let's check that out. I would call that a very modernistic harmonic approach. There are some really nice elements in there. I see some issues on the mixing side. Some frequencies are just a little harsh. But overall, the choice of instruments is totally fine. Yeah, especially in the piano. That piano needs a little compression. Some of the notes stick out like a sore thumb. Especially in that range. That even hurts a little. So the piano needs some compression. I'm not a big fan of the harmonic choices you have made here. But overall, nice piece. I liked the first one more, the electronic one. I thought the vibe was... I was just vibing with it more. But cool work. Thanks for sending that in, for submitting. So I'm going on to the next one. There was a question, Ironic Orchestra. Hey, haven't seen you in a while. By the way, if any one of you guys want to join the Discord server, that's the link right there. And also, I don't know how much we can still do today, but if you want to try, if we can make it, send your track to trackreviews@composingtutorials.com. Kind of in the flow right now. So Ramon Rogers, I would love your critique. I've been at it for a while, but I have already accepted that I have a lot to learn. Aren't we all? I'll be joining your Patreon as soon as I can. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. In case anyone else want to know, there we go. That's the information you need. You'll hear that I struggle with repetition mixing and being a little less diatonic. This is called apricity, tempo 134. It's a bit derivative, but I'll improve. Okay, let's take a listen. Download. There we go. Come on, download. Unknown file size. Someone asked in the comments, no, in the chat, about the complete control integration. Actually, that's something that I haven't found out lately. So the complete control does not only complete control and the MIDI portion of it with the knobs and faders and everything, but there's a little button here that is called mixer. And in Cubase, it actually gives you, I mean, you can see that right now, it actually gives you the mixer from Cubase on, so you can control the first 8 channels right away from Cubase. So you can see that is, and that's a native integration with Cubase. It's actually pretty cool. So I don't need a hardware controller to do fader moves. That is built into the complete control. I actually learned that just recently. So that is pretty cool. Arcan Vivo, you're next in line, just so you know. I don't know if that works in Studio One. I have to find that out. Hey, Rocco, I was actually thinking about it. Greetings back to my old neighborhood. Thanks for stopping by and for being with us here. Send something in if you have. Would love to listen to something. So let's get Ramon. I guess it's Ramon, not Raymond. Let's get Ramon going. What was the track? Chayal Apricity. There we go. Love the name of the track. Apricity. So here we go. It's definitely very hot. That I can see right away. But let's listen. Didn't expect that. But I didn't know what I expected. Definitely a little on the hot side, mixing-wise. That whole high end is also very harsh. But even more so than the high end, there's a frequency range that actually hurts a little bit in the ear. And I would say it's around 500K, something like that. Yeah. that is very, very. But maybe that's because of the mastering, because it's very hard. Maybe you have some distortion going on in the range already. So I would definitely bring that down a little bit. It kind of destroys the ability to just enjoy and listen, you know. Overall, in terms of composition, I feel that it's a little wild, for lack of better words. So it's like I'm not really sure where the track is taking me, if in terms of emotion and what does the track want to tell me? What is it making with me, or what is it doing to me? You know, so I'm not really feeling where what you're aiming for. I mean, I like that section here a lot. But it's the same thing that we had in some of the tracks before as well. I just feel that you're like slamming at least at this section, slamming everything into it that you have at your disposal, and therefore kind of creating more of a big sound mess. It's like painting, you know, when you paint with red and blue and green all at the same time, you get a big not that I want to say shit. I don't want to say that, but when you paint, then you get a big sauce of brown. You know, when you mix all the colors, and so it's. I can really hear that you have some great ideas going on in there. I think that you just slam too much on top to really make it work. That came unexpected. Did you leave the click on, or was that intentional? Arc in Vivo, I cannot download your track. You need to give me access to access it. I think that you have some really great starting points overall, but yeah, I can hear that you struggle most with mixing things and also balancing things within these tracks. So everything is running on full throttle, and therefore not making room for some of the important elements versus the rather not as important elements in that moment. I like the use of these little creepy tonal percussions. Cello sounds nice here. I assume the use of that, it sounds like a glockenspiel, that you get the motor, I don't know the English word for that right now. Aufziehen, if anyone can help me there. I mean, maybe there's a backstory to that, why that is in there. I just feel it's a tad too much of that noise from the wind the motor, yeah, wind up. I can imagine that there's a reason for that, but just feels a little much. Yeah, I assumed that it was part of the story for the music box kind of thingy. And there is that sample or that noise of getting the music box going. So when you wind up it. So overall, I think you have some great ideas in there. I just think that you need some help definitely on the mixing side of things, and also maybe on some decisions to find out for yourself which elements are more important than others in a arrangement situation, because sometimes slamming everything in might create more of a mess than a clear direction where the track is going to go. And overall, it's very hot on the master, so it sounds a little or a little harsh in the ears, let's put it like that. So, and with that, we are nearing the end of this little listening to a track. That was quite a long session. I didn't intend it to be that long, but it was fun, guys and girls. Why have we no girls sending in stuff? That is crazy. Is that such a male-dominated thing to do? Why don't we have any girls sending in stuff? I don't understand that. Must be sure some good composers out there that do music and want to have their stuff listened to. I would love to, but I mean, I can only offer so far. So Arken, we will take you next time because I can't access your track. That means we are at the end of the stream today. But I really liked what we did today. There were some great tracks in here. So, where's my background music at? Little motivational background stuff for the end. Patrick, not talking about getting you hooked up. Talking about music here. Definitely was fun to have you guys around and listen to your music. All of you guys did amazing. Such a great job. And again, I can only repeat what I said before. Never ever apologize for something that you have created and did out of nothing. I think this is the best thing of all. We all start with a blank sheet of paper or with an empty project. In the end, we all start with silence, and we are in the lucky position to transform silence into non-silence, which I think is great. And all you gotta do is just keep going. The more you do, the better you get at it. And so I enjoyed that very much, and I'm looking forward to the next one. I will put some more thought into it, how we can do it, maybe with a briefed session, like writing for something specifically instead of just doing a general. Everybody send your stuff in. Hope you liked it, and leave a like at the bottom of the video. Comment if you have ideas for future sessions. Send them in. Leave them in the comment section below. Again, I do have a Patreon where you can support me for all these videos, especially in these strange times. But I mean, we all have our fair share of stuff to do. Thanks for all my patrons out there that already support me. Couldn't do it without you, so you guys rock amazingly. And I see you next week on the next stream. Pretty soon I will take a look at Fracture Sound's Glacier keys that have been released, and I need to talk to Orchestral Tools. We still need to look at the new Berlin strings, so that might happen next week as well. For now, let me close the session. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I see you around. See you on the next stream. Thanks so much for joining, and talk soon. Bye bye.